Okay, next lesson on the mass media. We're looking at media diversity and the end of the mass media, question mark. Diversity meaning more than one sort of thing. What we're talking about here is, with the advent of the internet, there's many more different types of mass media out there, media diversity. So we're going to study the futurologists' ideas about the future. Yeah? A futurologist is a sort of small branch of sociology where you're looking at things that are going on now and trying to see how they will affect groups of humans in the future. You're not going to predict what sorts of technology we're going to have. We're going to try and predict how the technology will affect people, groups of people. And understand these ideas and develop our critical thinking skills. Keywords: internet, broadband, mobile, handheld, living room, monopoly, hearth, diversity, irreplaceable. Hearth, the fireplace. Irreplaceable means something that cannot be replaced. Okay, let's kick off. The living room. If you look at pictures of people's living rooms up to maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago, one telly, the furniture arranged around the telly, everyone in the same room watching the same thing. 4 channels, one telly. The TV became the substitute hearth. The family gathered around it. It's like the fireplace in times before TV. Yeah. And in that way, the family was held together. And mass media producers had to produce programs that everybody would want to watch together. It's what's called a mass culture. So in these days, EastEnders would have 20, 25 million people watching every episode because there was nothing much else to watch. And then, central heating and wireless broadband came in board. First off, central heating. Radiators throughout the home for almost everybody. It means in winter you didn't all have to sit in the same room. Other parts of the house were freezing cold. You could go to the family could then physically scatter to different parts of the house, and that's when you start having more than one telly. Kids had their own TVs in their bedrooms because their bedrooms weren't, like fridges. And then a few years ago, wireless broadband and mobile phones. Between these two things, you lot can go to your bedrooms and use the mass media. Yeah? This wasn't seen. This was not foreseen by futurologists. They missed this one. So what they have seen is the mass in mass media might be going. It's no longer going to be mass, meaning millions of people. You're watching it on computers, hundreds of channels, there's YouTube, there's Facebook, there's Twitter. It's not, the mass is declining. Yeah? That's the idea here. The mass is declining. I'll just make some more notes of that in classroom. Just to finish up on this, why are futurologists a big deal? Large companies sometimes employ them, and if they don't, things go wrong. This is Sir Clive Sinclair, an extremely intelligent computer programmer and inventor. He invented, built and put out the first computer for home use, yeah? The ZX Spectrum. This guy invented the very first computer people could afford to have in their homes. He made a lot of money. He gambled, people would want it, he built it, it worked. But he didn't employ any futurologists, any sociologists, to say, well, what would people want? So they might have told him, get a computer. So then he spent lots of his own money on building these contraptions. An electric 3-wheel buggy. Thinking, oh, people will definitely buy these. He lost a fortune. He didn't bother checking before he did this. Is this, so he could do it. He built them, the technology was there, but he didn't bother checking whether anybody wanted it, and of course they didn't, and he went bust. Futurologists. Technology comes along, but the scientists are the wrong people to ask about how to use it or what's going to be best used for.